Yes, February 18th, it's our second meeting of the month of February, and County Council started tonight at 6 p.m. and we did resolutions at 6 p.m. and the first resolution was to recognize the 4A state champion cheerleaders from Belton Honey Path. Large group of young women came out with their parents and supporters, took it all the way to the championship. A lot of smiles, a lot of energy. We were very excited to honor them, and I got a feeling they're going to be back there next year. And from that, we had another group of young women come in that won the 3A Powdersville State Volleyball. And so these women are so very talented and athletic, took it all the way to the state championship and won it, and I got a feeling they're going to be back the same. The last thing was a proclamation of Black History Month, and as everybody knows, February is Black History Month, and we wanted to recognize that because of the contributions of African Americans in our community and let people know that we value that, and that to recognize that history is a good thing. From there, we went into our regular scheduled meeting. And like any meeting, sometimes we have presentations where people come give us information on a whole array of subjects. Well, tonight we had a gentleman from a National Guard, almost youth camp. And this is something that's 75% funded by the federal government, 25% funded by the state government, but it's where at-risk teens between 16 and 18 can go to sort of a regimented, sort of military-style camp that can help prepare them to get into technical school, college, potentially the military, and sort of a second chance kind of deal, which is so many times needed with mentors to young people in our community to give them just a little oomph to keep going. Well, from there, we also heard from South Carolina Carey. A gentleman came to talk to us about Second Amendment gun rights and whether or not our county should be a Second Amendment sanctuary county. What does that mean? And we probably had 50 to 75 in attendance tonight supporting this. And they wanted to educate the population on what they believe the Second Amendment means and about not infringing people's rights. And at the same time, they want to advocate for responsible gun ownership. And so the council took this information in, heard from these citizens, heard from their organization about what they wanted to do. We've submitted their request to our county lawyer and to county staff to review. And so I think that's something that's going to be coming back up in the next couple of weeks, and there should be a good amount of discussion behind it. From there, we went into our third, second, and first reading. And as you may recall, everything in County Council ordinance-wise has to go through 3 readings. And our third reading was something that I think is a testament to the process. And this was a developer and community members that 6 months ago were in a total disagreement on how to handle a certain situation. Well, they went back to the drawing table, they worked together, and 6 months later they came back, and in third reading, the citizens stood up, the developer stood up, and they said, hey, we're in agreement. We want to develop this property in a way that benefits the developer, and the citizens who lived around it were happy in the way that he did it. So that was a very positive thing. That's encouraging for council to see. From there, we went into the second reading, just some minor rezonings from some residential to agricultural. We went into, we approved some purchase agreements when it came to new software. And then we went in the second reading of something for maltreatment of animals. If you remember that from last time, that basically is going to give us some discretion to our law enforcement officers to be able to educate people who maybe are not taking care of animals the way they should, but if we could show them how, they'll do better. And to differentiate that between people who need to be taken to the local courts or the magistrate's courts or even the state courts for true mistreatment of animals. And so that's a good thing that's moving forward, and it came out of our Public Safety Committee and garnered a lot of debate but also a lot of support. And from there, we went to a joint county industrial park, and that's where a paperwork item where we do some economic development with our adjoining counties. And then we went into an economic incentive package for a local company who was expanding, adding more jobs, and so it was good news for our economy, good news for people living in Anderson. And from there, we heard about the Public Safety Committee meeting that we had last week, and then we went into executive session to talk about items dealing with lawsuits. We do this from time to time because when a legal item is ongoing, we can't always discuss it to the public. So we go into executive session and the council goes in the chambers and hears from the county attorney. And two other things from a bid standpoint is we awarded a bid that was competitively put out for concessions at the Civic Center. And then we also approved a bid to purchase a machine that helps fill potholes better. And so I don't know a lot about asphalt, but I've learned about it over the years and how you fill and patch throughout the winter season to the summer season. It takes different machinery. It takes different techniques. We want to make sure we do it right, and so we make sure we get the right equipment. From there, we do what we always do at the finishing meeting. We look at appointments. There were none. And then we took requests for council, and tonight there was a couple of nonprofits that council wanted to support. I think one of note was the Shriner Circus that's coming to town. I think that's something that comes every year, and we'd encourage people to go visit it. At the end, we heard comments from citizens, and each council member gave some comments. But otherwise, we had a lot on the agenda, but it moved pretty quickly, and we had a good night. So we'll move to our first meeting, which is the first Tuesday in March. 6 o'clock will be resolutions. 6:30 will actually be discussion. We encourage you to come out, and as always, feel free to contact the county or your council person.